This is section 8.6, day 1. To solve a simple proportion, we're going to cross multiply. 10 times 56 is 560. 8 times x is 8x. Divide by the 8. X would be 70. You can use cross multiplication to solve a rational equation when each side of an equation is a single rational expression. So here we'll cross multiply. Seven times 2x minus 10. Then we need to distribute. Then we collect our like terms. By dividing by 3 to both sides, we get x equals 16. Same thing, we'll cross multiply because we have two fractions with an equal sign in between. So essentially it's multiplying by the denominator. Distribute the 5 through. Distribute the 12 through. Collect our like terms. Add the 24. And x equals 7. You can always plug the x back in to verify your work. 5 divided by 7 minus 2, which is 5. 5 over 5 is 1. 12 divided by 2 times 7, which is 14, minus 2 is 12. 12 over 12 is 1. So the two fractions equal each other. Here's two fractions with an equal sign in between, so we'll cross multiply. This side's all set, but this side needs to distribute. Move the x's over. And x equals 14. Our last example like this, we'll cross multiply. X, 2x minus 5. X minus 2, 3x minus 6. Now we need to distribute here. But in this case, we need a FOIL. We multiply the front, then the last, the inner, I guess that would be outer, inner, and then the last. Collect your like terms. Move all the terms over to the same side of the equal sign. So we have a quadratic. What multiplies to be 12 and adds to be negative 7. We know the two signs have to be the same, and the larger number needs to be negative. So they both need to be negative. X and X, negative 3, negative 4. It still equals 0. So you set them both equal to 0. And we get two separate answers. Both answers should work. You can test those. You can plug a 3 in. We get 3 over 3 minus 2, which is 1. So 3 over 1 is 3. You can plug the 3 in here to get 9 minus 6, which is 3. 6 minus 5, which is 1. So again, 3 over 3, which is 3. Same thing should work with 4. When you plug in 4, you get 4 minus 2, which is 2. And 2 goes into 4 twice. So this whole fraction's a 2. Plug in a 4 here, get 12. Minus 6 is 6. Plug the 4 into here to get 8. Minus 5 is 3. 3 goes into 6 twice. So this whole fraction's a 2 also. Both fractions are equal to each other. Okay, it costs a manufacturing company $50 to make one tennis racket. The initial investment in this product was $25,000. So it cost $25,000 to buy the machinery and all that extra pieces. Not what makes the racket, but things that you might use outside of that. How many tennis rackets must be produced before the average falls to $75? Well, what is average? Average is the total cost divided by the number. So we're going to work on the total cost. The total cost is $50 per racket, plus there was a $25,000 one-time fee. So there's no variable with the $25,000. That's your total cost. But if you divide this by the number of rackets, you now have an average. What's the average when you make one tennis racket, or two tennis rackets, or 3, and so forth? We want that average to be 75. So you can put this over 1, and now you have a proportion where you would cross multiply, and you'd get 50x plus 25,000 equals 75x, minus the 50x and we'd get 25,000 equaling 25x. And when you divide by the 25, the 25s would cross out and you'd be left with 1,000. So it takes 1,000 rackets to average $75. With example number 6, this is a little bit different. Notice that we do not have an equal sign in between two fractions. We have two terms adding together, then an equal sign. There's different ways that we could solve this. One suggestion would be when a rational equation is not expressed as a proportion, you can solve it by multiplying each side of the equation by the least common denominator. Of each side of the expression. So we'll come in here. I like to multiply this by x because it's our denominator. you have to multiply each piece. Some people like to show parentheses. I like to show that you hit it by each term. Either way, in this case you get 24 x squared and 10x. Now, because we have two different types of x's, we need to move them to the same side of the equal sign. So let's bring the 10x over here. So we have x squared minus 10x minus 24. Now we need to look at what multiplies to be negative 24 and adds to be negative 10. Okay, so one way we could do this is make a table. We're going to have negative 24 that add to be negative 10. We know that the signs have to be opposites to be a negative, and have to be, the larger number has to be negative. So 1 and negative 24, 2 and negative 12, 4 and negative 6, and I forgot in there 3 and negative 8. The only one that adds to be negative 10 is this one. So we know, because this is a leading coefficient of 1, we can just drop the positive 2 and the negative 12 right inside our parentheses. So then we'll use the zero product property. To get x equals negative 2 or x equals 12. If we plug in negative 2, we're going to get the number of 12 minus 2 gives us 10. That worked. Plug in 12 and we get the answer of negative 2 plus 12 more, which is 10. Both these answers work. Okay, on this side, you got two choices. You can either multiply through by the common denominator, or you can multiply through by each denominator. Let me show you that one first. We'll multiply through by each of the x's. If you're multiplying with that denominator, they would cross out, so you get 15. Nothing crosses out here, so you get 4x divided by 5. Here the x's cross out. Then we're going to come through and multiply by 5. Nothing can cross out here, so it's 5 times 15, which is 75. The 5's can cross out, so you have 4x, and you get 35. And our final answer is negative 10. On the next page, a little bit more complicated, we're going to multiply by 2, 2, and 2. The 2's can cross out, so you get 3. Nothing can cross out, so you get 8 over x minus 1. Nothing can cross out, so you get 2x plus 1. X minus 1. Then we're going to multiply through by the next denominator. Nothing crosses out, so we get 3 times x minus 1. There the denominators cross out. There the denominators cross out. We distribute. And collect our like terms. Move over the 2x. Move over the 5. So x equals negative 3.